Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the YouTube. I think I'm gonna start doing daily YouTube videos just to get content out there. Because I know like a lot of people in my niche struggle, with getting in good shape. The South Asian community is you know, there's a lot of misconceptions that that loom, you know, our community, and I want to be the individual that cranks down on it. Like, guys, it is so incredibly easy to get in shape. And once you understand the framework, I'm telling you, um, you can build whatever physique you want. I don't care what people tell you. Um, but let's get into it. Now, the premise of this video is just gonna go, deep into the fact that everyone says that your diet is the issue when it comes to South Asians. Your rice, dal, sabji. No, that is not the issue. You can eat those. I have all my, professional clients, older professional clients, aunties, uncles on the same meal plan. Not the same meal plan. Each meal plan is tailored for their life, but meal plans in which they're eating all the cultural foods, the foods that they love. What differentiates it is when are you training? Everything has to be formulated around your workout plan, right? And so people say, oh, carbs are the problem. You're eating so much rice and cut carbs entirely. No, carbs are what make you go. Carbs are what help you, you know, bridge that gap between, keeping that fat on your body and making that fat turn into muscle, or at least burning that fat and building new muscle, is what I meant to say. So carbs are not the problem. Every South Asian professional I talk to has been told the same thing. Cut the rice, cut the roti, cut the dal. That is the wrong advice. They should be telling you to do something else. I'm going to get into that. You're not eating too many carbs. You're eating them at the wrong time, right? You're not eating, you know, 500, 600 grams of carbs. You're just eating 300, but you're eating it, right before you go to bed, or, as soon as you wake up in the morning. You're not utilizing those carbs effectively, right? Now, if we were to place those carbs in a different time slot that's more efficient for our goals of building muscle and losing fat, we would be so much more efficient at burning fat and building muscle simultaneously, right? So you're not eating too much carbs, you're eating them at the wrong time. And, your body genuinely, like, food is food, right? And cookie obviously is a lot more sugar. This is a very, like, broad analogy, but to be honest with you, like, you're doing yourself no favors eating a roti when you're not going to work out for, 2 days after that, right? Everything you eat should be fuel for your sessions, okay, in the gym. So, with that said, I want to show you the exact framework I use with all of my clients, all South Asian professionals working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, to get lean without cutting out a single dish from their culture. And it all comes down to when. And look, my client, who's also named Akash, lost 40 pounds, right, in 2.5 months. Okay, and we didn't do it by cutting out the foods he loves. He eats whatever he loves. Okay, and also if you want to work with me, link in the bio for my website. Just fill out an application, and we'll be in touch. But I digress. The framework of this is that the carbs equal fuel. So when you train, your muscles are primed to absorb them and use them for output and recovery. And when you don't train, that same fuel has nowhere to go, right? And it's going to get stored as fat because you're not going to be using it in an efficient manner. So what do we want to do, right? I'll tell you. Most South Asian professionals skip breakfast, eat a medium lunch, and then have a huge dinner. Late at night, and there's no training. To be honest, most people in our community, we don't even train, right? And so the fact that you're eating all of these carbohydrates, you're intaking all of this energy, and you're not using it. Think about a car that has, like, premium gas, but it's not going anywhere. It's sitting in the garage. Why does it need all that gas? Not going anywhere. Same thing for your body. Ideally you put that premium gas in your tank, But if you're going to do that, either way, it could be premium, it could be crappy gas. I mean, all that matters is that you got to drive that car, you know? And if you're not, utilizing these carbs in a format that, actually benefits your body composition towards your training, it's not going to be beneficial for you. And that's why everyone has this misconception that, oh, you know, carbs make you fat. No, 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 no. People have that misconception because they're not training. Put in the training in place and have a moderate amount of carbs and also have, it around your training session. You will build muscle and you will lose fat. I'll tell you exactly how to do this. On your training days, I want you to eat bigger carb meals around your workout. Have that dal, have that roti, that rice before the workout, hour and a half, 2 hours before the workout. Let it digest, right? We call it the pre-workout meal and post-workout meal. Both of them are peri-workout or around the workout. Incredibly important for your performance in the gym, okay? So this is when your body actually wants and will use the rice and roti, right? And so when we're in the gym, we're pushing ourselves. That's when we need those nutrients. We don't need it when we're on the couch at 11 p.m. watching a TV show. That's not what we need. And the rest days, simultaneously, if we want to be the most efficient versions of ourselves and utilize energy in the most efficient manner, we need to trick our bodies, okay? And how do we do that? We carb cycle, okay? So the rest days, we pull the carbs back. We don't need carbohydrates to go sit on the couch and, relax on our rest days, right? So we're going to have more of the protein, more of the veggies, more of the fiber, and less of the rice. Rest of the less carbs that, because why do we need that energy when there's no output that we have to give? You don't need the fuel, so don't load it in your system, right? You don't need to carb load when you're not doing anything. And honestly, this one shift alone, I shouldn't be giving this information for free because this can change your composition of your body like that. And it happens with all my clients. It's the reason all my clients lose like 10 pounds in the first 3 weeks. I'm telling you. And those results are very common. If you want to work with me, again, link in below. But training day. This is like another example. For a training day dinner, what I would do is rice, dal, chicken or paneer. If you're, vegetarian, we can do paneer. Any sabji, whatever. And rest day, more, like I said, more fiber, more vegetables. We don't need the rice. We don't need the dal. Salad, grilled protein, and, a small roti. A little bit of carbs, right? We don't need all that rice and dal. We don't need too much, okay? You can still have a little bit of carbs, just not as much as your training days, okay? So now the question becomes, do you actually consistently train? Because you could have this best diet plan in the world, but if you're not having training days and rest days because you're not training, what is this for? There is no carb cycling if you're not training. You need to be training effectively, okay? So if yes, awesome, right? So I would say with this carb cycling structure, map your week, right? Okay, you're training Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those days have your training day macros where you have higher carbohydrates and lower protein and lower fat. And then on the days that you're not training, what, Monday and Thursday, cool. We'll go to the rest day macros. We'll do, higher protein, but lower carb and higher fat, right? So that's all I need you to do. I need you to take the carbohydrate macromolecule and dial it up and down depending on your output, right? Don't think of it like roti, rice, dal. Think of it like carbohydrates. Now, how do I take those carbohydrates and partition it effectively into my diet plan so I can still eat what I love, but also get the most out of it for my performance? And then if you're not training effectively or consistently, Then you got to build a training schedule, and you need to build a training plan. Because, like I said, without it, this whole video is just nulled. Carb timing doesn't matter because you're not training. You have no event to put that carbs towards use. And every client I get and I have in my program gets a full training program specifically catered to their life, to their lifestyle, to their the amount of days that they can train, whatever they're comfortable with. So I highly suggest you click that link below. But this is the exact framework I use for all of my clients, doctors, lawyers, engineers, founders. I mean, it works for anyone. I don't care if you're working 80 plus hours a week, 90 plus hours a week. I have an investment banker in my program working 20 hours a day, and he's still down like 14 pounds in the last 40 days. This is a proven system. No crash diet, nothing needed. So book a call below, and I'm telling you, this will change your life. But apart from that, I really, really hope you guys enjoyed the video. And listen, I'm just here to help. I really, really, really want to see my community use their bodies more effectively, and break that stereotype that we can't build a good physique. It's wrong. We can.